This podcast is sponsored by nobody. Hey dudes, welcome to Splat from the Past, the only 80s themed horror and sci-fi show where things can get totally radical. Now, I'm excited for today's show because I'm going to be talking to a girl I have known since we were in kindergarten, and I am talking about Denise Percy. Denise and I go all the way back to kindergarten at Horrell Elementary in San Mateo, California. And her brother and my brother were very close friends for a lot of years, and we got a lot of history. I was briefly on the wrestling team with her cousin, and yeah, it's going to be a fun, interesting conversation today. We've been connected on social media for a long, long time, and I wanted to reach out to her and have her on here for a long time, but I wanted to wait. I mean, this is a monumental year for the both of us because we're both turning 40 and we've known each other since we were 5. So it's going to be an interesting conversation, and I cannot wait. So yeah, here is my interview with Denise Percy.
Hello.
Hey Denise, welcome to the show. How are you tonight?
Hey, TJ. I'm doing great. How are you?
I am fantastic. Oh my God, we haven't talked in forever.
Since high school, which you graduated before I did, so it's been, 21, almost 22 years.
Yeah,
Whew.
just about. And we've known each other since kindergarten.
Yeah, I know. When you said that at first, I had to think back, and I could not believe it's been that long.
Yeah.
Oh, my God, that just made me really feel really old.
I just turned 40 a couple weeks ago.
I know. I have 1 month left. I'm enjoying my 39s until I hit that 40.
I tell you, it feels weird. It really does because, I wasn't expected to live this long with the growth disease that I have, and everyone, predicted I wasn't going to make it to 18 just because I was so fat growing up. It's just it feels weird. I look in the mirror, I lost so much hair, and the rest of it's going gray. I mean, something's got to give.
Oh, God. Yeah, I know. I'm like, especially if you look at your pictures from when you're younger to now, it's like you can't believe you're like, I used to be that small or that young. It's like, oh, what happened?
Yeah. Oh my God. So yeah, I mean, we met in Miss Michelson's class at Horrell, and I remember it was me, you, Jonathan Hogue, Hector Pecorini, Alvin Sharma, Ronell Ram, Billie Jean Benson, many others were in that class.
Oh my gosh, yes. And I actually remember Miss Michelson too, because a funny story, she actually had my brother
Yeah.
as a teacher too. And it's like, oh, never liked that, having to have your sibling as a previous teacher. But I loved Miss Michelson. She was amazing. But oh goodness.
Yeah, she had both of our brothers at the same time, and I remember that class picture. She had all the class pictures of all the previous years on her wall, and I was like, "Oh my God, it's Joe!" It was crazy.
Yep. Oh gosh. I know. I still actually remember kindergarten. I actually remember sometimes some of the days and everything. Oh, I remember where the building and the classroom was too.
Yeah.
Oh, that's even scary. So.
Yeah, it was in that little corner. I remember that little corner, and I remember every Thursday we would get those little cartons of milk, and I remember one kid was allergic to chocolate milk, and I hated the chocolate milk that they gave us. I just thought it was flavorless. So I tried to steal his white milk, and he caught me, and so Mrs. Michelson had to order 2 white milks.
Yeah, I always got the white milk because I didn't like the chocolate milk because I was never a kid for sweets. So I remember that. Oh, I remember playing, even doing the little breaks and recesses, playing with the little Lincoln logs. Oh, goodness. Oh, my gosh.
Oh God,
Yeah.
I remember we had so many cool games in that class and so much fun stuff to do. It was such a nice big room she had.
Yep, exactly. I don't remember ever having nap time, how people say that, go to kindergarten, you had nap time. I don't remember that.
I think by the time that we got in the game, I think that they had stopped that because, weird shit was probably starting to happen with teachers and students.
Oh God, probably.
I'm
Yeah, because I'm like,
guessing.
I don't remember that. I'm like, I remember just going and it was just so much fun. It was like a big playtime to me. So is what it seemed like.
It was one big playtime, absolutely. I remember one time you got frustrated with me because I kept peeking during some card game that we were playing.
I'm very competitive. Even to this day, I am. I don't like, I have to be, especially when you do games, I have to do by the rule. And I'm very competitive. Yeah.
Well, you were
My
the
boyfriend will even say the same thing. He knows, he's learned I'm very competitive no matter what it is and what it comes to.
yeah. Well, you were the tomboy in our class.
Yep. Yeah, it took me a very long time to grow out of that because I'm like, it was just, I was more because my dad was more and we were like outdoors and we were kind of kids. I'm like, I grew up playing outside, getting dirty and everything. So it's like, I never thought of like, oh, well, I'm going to have like pretty stuff and, dressing like dresses because I figured it's going to get dirty. I didn't want to do that.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I got bullied a lot at Horrell. I got probably bullied worse at Horrell than I did when I went to Parkside. It seemed like Horrell was full of sociopaths and kids who were being abused. It was really, really weird.
Oh, yeah. I wish I never saw that side or go, and I was very fortunate enough to even through all schools, through middle school, high school, I never got bullied. And so I was very fortunate of that. I did hear comments every once in a while when you get in high school, but I never got bullied or picked on or anything. So I was very lucky in that way. But I didn't see anything. But I was also the type of person, if I did see something, I said something.
Yeah.
But it seemed like it was just mistiming whenever that stuff was going on. I was, of course, was not around.
Yeah, I mean, it was pretty bad. And a lot of those guys that bullied me at Horrell, a lot of them are, they're doing nothing today. It's sad. A lot of them have not grown up still, I saw a bunch of them when I was working in the bars in my 20s, and just none of them have changed, sadly.
Yeah, but it's going to come around to them eventually, just how they're nothing today, or, it's, karma. It's a bitch.
It sure is. Who are your friends you hung out with?
Oh my gosh! I honestly don't remember in elementary school who I hung out with.
Mm-hmm.
The only ones I remembered was as for hanging out with was like started in 5th grade.
Yeah.
I only remember one person, which is Deanna Cordova, which I'm still friends with to this day.
Yep.
And we went to middle school, and then I remember all my middle school friends, which I speak with Rosalinda, which she actually went to a different high school than I did. But we still talk, and we're actually still communicating on Facebook today. But I remember all my friends from middle school. I still I talk with a few of them, actually, surprisingly.
Mm-hmm.
And then high school, a few of my friends that were my friends, also my teammates or bandmates in high school too. I still talk with them, so that's pretty nice. Not frequently, but it's nice.
Yeah, I mean, I'm connected with just about everybody from back in the day because I'd see them at the bars and stuff in our 20s. But I mean, you were held back a year, right?
Yeah. So in 2nd grade, I found out I had a little parent-teacher conference. My parents came in, talked to, Miss Deanie was my 2nd grade teacher.
Yeah.
And she talked to my parents because it was nothing to be with my grades or anything. I was fine. I was smart. I had my good grades. It's just I was extremely shy. And I was not outgoing, did not want to talk to anybody. I would stick around just talking with her.
You were shy, yeah.
Yeah, so I was extremely shy until then. And so they decided to keep me back in 2nd grade to help boost my confidence, which it really did. And that helped me up. And I was still shy, even growing up, and it slowly helped me. Today, that's definitely not the case. But yeah, I still have my moments, but it's, I speak my mind today. But yeah, back then I was very, very shy. I was afraid to hurt anyone's feelings is really what it was. So I was always conscious of that. So definitely not that really worried. I'm still afraid to hurt people's feelings. I don't want to, but I will if I need to. It becomes that.
Yeah, no, you've always been a sweetheart. You were always shy, though, and quiet, but you've always been nice to everybody. Yeah, I mean the class below us, O2. Yeah, oh my God. So there's so many people in that class that I was friends with mostly. Like everyone in my class just was so mean to me. But like in O2, yeah, there was a lot of people like. By the time I was in second grade at Horrell, I was hanging out with like Ricky Mappa and Emmanuel Berries, and Elvira Blossom was the only girl who was nice to me. And I wish I had paid attention to her at Bayside, because I think we'd be married now. I strongly believe that.
Gosh, I remember Elvira too. Oh gosh, yeah. I actually had since I got held back, I actually had it where I had friends that were basically in the grade, because I graduated high school in 2002.
Yeah.
So I had the great of having a lot of friends that were a year above me, because technically that's would have been my graduating classes would have been 2001. So I was really nice to have it where I had friends in 2001, but I also had, my current friends in 2002 too. So I had a kind of best of both worlds.
Yeah. I mean, class of 2002. A lot of the ones from 2002 that I was friends with ended up going to Aragon, like Sean Nevis and Ray Abad and Freddie Oriano and those guys.
Oh gosh, yeah. Oh, yeah, because most of my friends because I went to middle school, I was at Bayside. And so, yeah, most of my friends, they went to Aragon. And I was supposed to go to Aragon, because actually that was the district I was in. But I actually chose not to, and I had my mom apply me to San Mateo High, because I did not want to go to the same high school as I did with my brother, because I had to do the same elementary school and the same middle school as him. And I kept running into teachers that had him, and I didn't want to be compared to him. So I wanted high school to be completely my own experience, not have anything related to him, so I did. Of course, I still had a relative I went to school with, and actually had two ended up going with, because I had my cousin, Jason Turner. He was 2 years ahead of me.
Jason's your cousin? I didn't know that.
Yep.
Wow.
So he was my cousin, and so he was 2 years ahead of me. And then when I went to high school, my sophomore year, my other cousin ended up coming to high school. He only stayed there for a year, though.
Nathan?
Then he transferred to Yep, exactly, Nate. So, and I actually just saw Nate last weekend, or no, 2 weekends ago, actually.
Yeah.
We just all had a huge family reunion, because one of my cousins, his last son just graduated high school, and so we had a huge family reunion for graduation thing, and it's so hard to get all of us together. So it was so nice to see everybody.
That is fucking creepy that his child graduated high school, because I remember when we were in high school and we were briefly wrestling together my junior year and his freshman year, and oh my God, he was so damn funny. And we used to he was the little guy, so we'd hold him down and poke his belly button.
Yeah, he was so tiny and scrawny, and it's funny because we would laugh at him because he would eat so much. It's like, dude, where do you put this food?
Yeah.
And to this day, he's still pretty good shape, but he is. I laugh because he's still a little shorter than I am, but I'm very tall for a woman. So,
yeah.
But it's funny. But oh God, yeah. So his older brother is Fred, and he's the one that had the youngest child that graduated. But just seeing everybody and just knowing that his kids graduated high school, that makes us even feel older.
Yeah.
So that was a shocker.
It is. It's really scary. And what's his name? Josh Tipton. Like,
oh gosh.
Yeah, his daughter that he had with Lacey. She's got to be at least 22 now.
Oh my goodness. Oh my God, that just really make me feel so really old.
Yeah, he posted a picture of her. She looks exactly like Lacey.
Oh wow.
Yeah. It's crazy. It really is.
Oh, I know. When I have it where I talk at work and I talk with other people, my coworkers, and it's funny because they're like, they talk about certain things and then they're like talking about their graduating years. And I'm like, dude, I just had my 20-year high school reunion, which unfortunately I was not able to go.
Yeah.
It's a little bit harder since I live out of state. So
I was at yours and I was at mine and I was at 2000s. I went to the mall. I stopped after 2002 because hard times happened in 2013, and then I haven't been to another reunion since. But I went to a bulk of the reunions actually because the first year that I was bouncing at the swinging door at San Mateo, the class of '97 reunion happened, and I saw a bunch of people who came back and taught at San Mateo and was my coaches and stuff. And then I went to the '98 reunion and I saw a bunch of the football players that I knew from my freshman year. And then I was going to go to '99, but I think I was working at the bar that weekend. But then I went to all the others, until after '02. But '02 was a blast. We had it at Kingfish. A couple guys I knew from high school were working there, like Tom Cone and stuff.
oh my God. Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. I really wish, that's the one thing I wish, and unfortunately it was just really hard when it came to my 10-year reunion.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, at that time, with my ex-husband, couldn't make it. We had a family emergency that we were dealing with, so I couldn't unfortunately make it at the time. And then the 20-year, I just couldn't leave as for getting the time off of work and everything. So I'm like, okay, I'm planning if hopefully eventually if we have a 30-year, maybe I'll be able to make sure I kind of keep an eye on that and try to plan around it.
Yeah. Oh God. When I went to the '02 reunion, I'm still close friends with Anna Marie Urbieta.
Yeah.
We're like super tight, super close, and she's visited me in the hospital and everything. We're that close, and she just had a baby 2 years ago, which I can't believe. I never thought she was ever going to settle down. I went with her and Adrian Finley, and I think they were going to give me a ride home at some point, but then I think they had a little too much alcohol or something. So my other good friend, Mary Hicks, took me home.
Oh. God, yeah.
Her and her then soon-to-be fiance. I was at her first wedding, by the way, and they got divorced like within a year and a half, sadly. And now she's with that new guy. I met him briefly before I moved out of the Bay Area. He seemed like a good guy, and she's got a baby now, so she seemed to be happy. But yeah, she ended up taking me home that night. But it was great. There were people that didn't show up that I wish had, but in the '01 reunion, oh my God, there was only like 50 people there. Like most of the class wasn't even there.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is hard. Gosh, I can't imagine it. That was a pretty big graduating class.
Yeah.
And even '02, oh my God, we had a huge class. And plus '02, we also had it because I think we had not only we were kind of, '02 was a really good class because we were all really close. And I think what too made it kind of special with the '02 class is that we were the 100 years for graduating from San Mateo.
Yes.
And that
was
awesome.
And I liked you. I liked your class a lot. A lot of good people were in that one. I gotta tell you though, '04. Oh my God, I was surprised at just how entitled and mean class of '04 was. I mean, when I was a
Oh,
senior, I was just like, oh my God. So this is the young generation coming in. Like, what is up with this class? You know. And I am friends with some people from that class. Some that are not even on social media. I wish I could get in contact with, and like nobody knows where they're at.
oh gosh.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Unfortunately, nowadays, unfortunately, the generation will kind of think that they're entitled to everything, and oh God, yeah, that's a long story on that one.
They were the yeah, they were the Britney girls.
Oh yes, very aware of that one.
Yeah, oh my God. But yeah, so like at Bayside you were in band, Mr. Minor. Oh my God.
Yep. Oh my God. I actually have a funny story about Mr. Minor.
I do
So me
too,
and my
but you
best
you tell
friend.
yours first.
So okay. So how Mr. Minor always had his shaved head and it was always shiny. So
Right.
because we had a joke that he put baby oil on it to make it shiny.
Yeah.
But there was one time that he came to school and he had like almost like a scar, like a scab on it.
Hmm.
And so we started, me and my best friend Deanna, we started joking around saying that because he shaved his head, we thought he shaved his head purposely to look that way.
Hmm.
And so we started joking around saying that, look, the little scab, it's a key. There's a key to his head. And oh my, it was just a running joke for the whole middle school for us.
Yeah. Yeah, about 15 years ago, Ray Abad told me back when you could find people's email addresses on AOL, him, Danny Alvarez, and a couple other kids, they found Mr. Miner's email, and they were like they made up like a fake account, and they were like having like instant messages with him, and pretending to be a teacher, a female teacher at the school, and saying,
Oh,
I don't remember which one in particular, but they were saying stuff like, "Hey Doug, do you go down?"
oh my God.
I was cracking up when
Oh,
he told me that.
wow. God, that is funny. Yep. Oh my goodness. Yeah,
Yeah,
no, I was in band in middle school, and then of course, and then in high school as well. And actually, funny thing is, Mr. Tribuzzi from high school,
yeah.
he just retired this past year,
I heard.
finally.
Yeah, I heard.
Ah, gosh, yeah, they had all the things and everything, and they were sending me this stuff out. It's just like at that time, unfortunately, I take care of my mom. She's unfortunately going through some health issues at the moment, so I'm
Yeah.
busy taking care of her. So unfortunately, I wasn't able to go. So, but they were all asking for pictures, and so I'm like, I had all my band pictures, and so of course I sent the funny ones that we all had. Oh, but a lot of memories, of course, band, and then of course, I was band, and of course I had sports. So I'm like, I was a little bit of inside of all different crowds. So that's one thing I loved. I was kind of friends with the jocks and the band, and then with other stuff, and it's a little bit of variety.
Yeah, let's see. I remember you were on the volleyball team.
Yep. And so let's see. Middle school was volleyball, and then basketball in 8th grade, and then high school was volleyball, basketball, softball.
Yeah. Let's
So,
see. My friend Francesca Castellucci was on the team with you in high school.
yep. Oh yes, I remember her.
She she
Oh,
she was a nurse at the hospital that I was at when I had my car crash, and she came to visit me.
oh,
Yeah,
God,
she
yeah.
she worked in the lower, and I do mean lower levels of the hospital, and she came all the way up there just to see me. I was crying.
Oh, yeah. That is so nice. Yeah, I loved. I don't think there was anybody that was ever mean
Hmm.
or like how sometimes women or whatever they kind of get catty when they're play together or something. I go, we
Hmm.
didn't really do that. I go, we were all very, very, very competitive. I remember Francesca, she was the one that was the most competitive that I've seen. And she was so passionate, especially about basketball.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
and she was very good too.
Oh yes, and she's just a lot of fun to talk to, and just a great person. You know, her and Rocky got married, and they're living their domestic bliss, and they've been together since kindergarten.
Yep. Oh God. Yes, exactly. I was actually surprised. I was actually thinking eventually that maybe that was Francesca because how good she was for a point guard, that she was maybe going to try to play in college and stuff, but
Yeah.
it didn't work out that way. But hey, you never know.
Oh God, I thought that about so many people who were great athletes. There's the quarterback at Aragon. I knew him when we were like 9 because we had mutual friends. His name was Jacob Fuada, and he played football, basketball, and baseball at Aragon all 4 years. He got freaking all state, all league, everything. I thought he was going to be a pretty good ball player in college, and I thought maybe he was going to go pro. I thought he was going to be the Tom Brady of his time, but he didn't. Instead, he became a partier, and I had so many drunken nights with him when I was in the bar business.
Yep, you'd be surprised. You go, unfortunately, you think something's going to happen, and of course, things don't work out as you planned.
Absolutely.
So that is life, unfortunately.
Yeah, I remember. I used to go to the softball games at San Mateo because I had friends that played like April Reluda and Katrina Romero, and
Yep.
I remember playing against Eric. You guys were playing against Aragon. Crystal Newman was on the other team.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, and I remember like I said hi to her, and she was like, "Oh, hi TJ, I gotta go now, bye." And then I ran into her like 15 years ago, and she gave me a hug, and then said the same thing, bye. Yeah, crazy. Oh my God, do you remember the time I asked you to prom?
I actually do. And I think at that time I actually had a boyfriend.
Yeah, you were going out with Bug.
Yeah, very extremely briefly, but it was, and then it didn't even last. Like literally, I think it was like 3 weeks we went out,
Yeah.
if that. And so it's like, I think literally probably, I think it was like after you asked me, it was literally probably like, I want to say not even a week. I think it was like just a couple of days. I ended it.
Wow. I didn't realize.
So
I didn't realize it was that soon, but yeah. Oh my God! I just remember you had this smirk of awkwardness on your face.
because I wasn't expecting it. I'm like, really? Oh, okay. I'm like, oh God, but I'm with somebody, but I'm like, at the same time, I'm like, I knew it wasn't gonna last, so that's like kind of the awkward situation I was in. I'm like, I want to say yep because I don't know, but I don't. I felt weird because I was still technically dating somebody, so it was hard. It was like, and it's just the moral person of me. I couldn't say yes because I was still technically seeing somebody. So
Yeah,
that's just me being, unfortunately.
I remember the year before. Did you know Amy Condon?
I knew her, but I never hung out with her.
Yeah, her and I, we were in art class, and she was a year older, and we were talking about prom, and like I think she wanted me to go with her, and I just didn't want to go junior and senior year. I just wanted to go senior year, and I kind of regretted not going with her. And then I saw her about 6 years ago, and she barely remembered me after I had seen her when we were at CSM, and it was kind of sad. It was almost like she was in a drug haze or something.
Oh, that is so sad. Yeah.
Yeah. It was
Yeah, unfortunately, alcohol and drugs has ruined a lot of people's lives. So.
Yeah, it almost did mine, and thank God I got out of it by having that crash. Otherwise, I wouldn't have a new perspective like I do now.
Yep, and unfortunately, it's sad that it happened, but in some way, figure it saved your life. So, and some things just happen for a reason.
They sure do. They sure do. Yeah. So, oh my God, that's so awesome. What instrument did you play when you were in band?
So I started out playing just the clarinet. Then in middle school, Mr. Miner asked me to learn to play alto clarinet.
Mm-hmm.
So I learned how to play that one. And then I learned pretty much every single instrument in the clarinet family, which there's about 6 of them. And then I started in high school. I started getting learning to play as other instruments. So overall, I actually learned to play a total of, I believe it was 11 instruments total.
Mm-hmm.
By the time I was done, so I was very flexible with learning instruments.
Yeah. Oh my God. I've interviewed so many great musicians on this podcast that I grew up listening to. Like I talked to Susie Quattro a month ago. I talked to Jan of Jan and Dean, or no, Dean of Jan and Dean a couple of years ago. I talked to Gina Shock from the Go-Go's, which I think is my best interview.
Oh gosh, yeah, I love that. And even though I played, and I was more classically trained and learned how to play. You have a passion for music, and it's just like overall the talent, just the artistry, just the passion, and even to like this day, my boyfriend John,
Mm-hmm.
he is a bass guitarist, and he played, and he actually played with a band. They were signed, and they toured and everything. He still plays to this day. He's actually looking for another band here in town to play with. He's more like, he likes to do like the punk rock music. He loves that. And you can see the passion when he plays. And it's great seeing people do that and just see the love for the music. It is just amazing.
Yeah. Who'd you listen to growing up? Like, who are your favorites?
So I was a huge variety. I listened to anything and everything from classical music to like pop, rock. Mm-hmm. Yes, I was one of those kids that listened to the NSYNC and Backstreet Boys. Okay, I'm sorry. I grew up New Kids on the Block. Yes, I remember them.
Oh.
But yes.
I was a huge fan of both New Kids on the Block and Wilson Phillips when I was in second grade, and like everyone thought that I was going to grow up gay because I loved them. You know, I'm bi, I will admit that, but like you know, the boys would say, "Oh, only girls like that music."
Oh God, see, I don't remember. All I remember from New Kids on the Block is like I remember when they were coming out. Of course, you know their whole favorite song. Yeah, everyone knows that. I do remember having a nightgown pajama shirt of them and a lunchbox and thermos. That is it. I don't remember listening to them otherwise or listening to any of their music or having posters from them, though. I just have that memory from them.
Yeah. Yeah.
But, oh, God.
I mean, I grew up listening to all the classic rock that my dad liked, and I was into the pop stuff. I was an MTV kid, I'll tell you. I spent so much time from the time I was at least 3 that I can remember just watching MTV music videos and singing along to every song. Even if I saw it over and over again, I just loved it.
Oh, gosh. Yep. I even remember listening to the radio to have my radio on, listening to the radio and recording songs off the radio station onto a cassette so I can listen to them and making my own little favorite song, a tape. Oh gosh. Yeah. But listening to MTV, but my parents were older parents, so I listened to a lot of 50s and 60s music too. And then my cousins were all country music. And so I had huge different range and variety of music. Even to this day, I listen to a lot of different things. So it's hard. If you ask my favorite band, I'm gonna have to say it's Green Day. Of all times, it's my favorite one.
Oh yeah. Oh my God.
I love them.
Oh yeah, they're great. I mean, people call them a marijuana promoting band. It's like, who gives a fuck? They're great.
Yep, exactly. They actually they've been together longer than most bands.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, they have their opinions, but they also don't have it where they don't push their political opinions on the fans, which I absolutely love. So there's a lot of hate, unfortunately, when it comes to politics. They push their opinions. Everyone is allowed their own opinion. You and I may not agree, but that's okay. That's not who you are as a person, and that's why I don't like you or I'm not friends with you. But I just don't feel that it's right to push and make me try to believe or into something that I don't.
Yeah, so. Absolutely. Do you remember the first concert you ever went to?
Actually, I do. It was actually a Jingle Ball concert. Yep. And it had actually, I remember two of the artists, two of the artists there I remember. It was Brian McKnight and then 98 Degrees. It was part of it. But I got free concert tickets for Jingle Ball. And I was second row. So I couldn't beat that.
Yeah, I mean, first, my dad used to take me to the fair every year to see Tower of Power play, and then he started taking me to see the classic rock bands we listened to on the radio, like Steppenwolf and Grand Funk and Cheap Trick, and I've seen Night Ranger at the fair twice, and REO Speedwagon, and I've gone to see real concerts, of course, by like Joe Walsh and Bad Company and Alice Cooper and The Who. I've been to a lot of good concerts.
Oh, yeah. I think for my boyfriend's birthday in March, we actually saw Jane's Addiction here in Reno. And that was pretty cool. And then we seen Buck Cherry. Oh, my God. And that was amazing. I've seen, like, Leonard Skinner, Alice Cooper as well. Oh, God. My country artist I've seen, of course, I know my cousins joke around with it, but I've seen Luke Bryan, Brett Eldridge, oh God, who else? Carl Swindell. God, I've seen so many artists, and it's, like I said, varieties. And one thing I remember from California is always winning concert tickets from the radio shows to go down at Great America. And I love that because when you won the free concert tickets, you got into Great America for free.
Yeah, oh my God. I heard that Great America is going to be closed down because they're building another fucking project over there.
Yes, I know. Yeah, they got bought out. And actually, me and my cousins were just talking about this a couple weekends ago when we were all together. He said that apparently, yeah, it's supposed to be closing down. They said, I guess they decided on like 10 years. And I'm just like, how can you guys close it? That was like the best fun and summer fun. You'd always go and buy the season passes, and it was just so much fun growing up and experience. You didn't have to go to like, Six Flags or Disneyland. That was more of adult kind of, and like teenagers, and you had the concerts there. It was just so much fun.
I know, it's so sad. Oh my God. I remember when I was 6, the Bengals were playing Great America, and my parents wouldn't take me because they just thought I was way too young to go to a rock concert. I found out later that was their last gig for 10 years because they broke up like literally the next week after that.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. It is sad. There's a lot of concerts I would love to see, but my parents were, like I said, were older, so they weren't into that type of music. They wouldn't go with me.
Yeah.
I couldn't get them even to do like really sports events with me. That was hard. I tried to get them to go because I loved football and baseball, but trying to get them to go to games with me was very difficult because they were constantly working and stuff. So I couldn't get them to go, but I was able to experience those. So that was fun. I go experience a lot of things, like unfortunately a little bit later in life than I was younger, but that's okay.
Yeah. Oh my God. When's the last time you've been to San Mateo?
I drove through San Mateo, actually was about 2 years ago. I went to, because I was having my cousin's, her 40th birthday party, like near Santa Cruz. And so that was the last time. And then the time before that would have probably had been about 5 years. I very rarely go to San Mateo anymore.
Yeah, same here.
I don't go to California.
Me and my mom, we moved up to Redding in 2017 and came down to San Mateo in the spring of 18, and then the last time we were there was in December of 19 before the pandemic hit, and it was a different place in just 1 year. I mean, I felt like I was in Blade Runner, and just like I see all these projects that weren't being built yet the last time I was there, and so many people I knew were gone and out of the Bay Area. It's just like, it didn't feel like home anymore.
No, yeah, that's been, yeah, 'cause I moved from San Mateo. I moved from there was 2003, and I moved out, and so I moved out to Reno now, so that's where I'm at, and I've been here since. So love it, but the only thing I really do miss about San Mateo, San Mateo was really, it was a great community to grow up in, and we were very lucky. We had a lot of diversity, and it was really great. I loved my neighbors that I had that I grew up around, and I loved being, the one thing I loved was what we were still so close to the ocean.
Yeah.
I miss that.
I mean, God, everything. I mean, so many places I was going to during my bar days it has closed down. Like, I used to go to London Fish and Chips. My grandparents took my dad and all my uncles there on Good Friday back in the '60s.
Oh my gosh! I think the last time I was there, I drove by. Of course, everyone's probably known it off of. Oh gosh, I want to say it's Norfolk, the fish market, the whole famous fish market with the fish sign.
Yeah.
That is known in San Mateo. I'm sorry. Everybody knows that. Look,
yep.
I think it closed down if I'm not mistaken. Or is it still open? I don't even know.
I do know that the one in Palo Alto was no more or something, or San Jose, one of the two. But, I wouldn't be surprised if the San Mateo one wasn't there anymore. That place was so freaking legendary, but every time you went in there, it literally smelled like fish.
Yep, exactly. And the funny thing is, I always figured that it was actually like a fish store. It's not, it's a restaurant. I never knew that. I'm like, but I never went in there because I was never a fish person. But you knew the restaurant. Everybody knew it. Everybody knew what the sign looked like. Oh, gosh.
Oh, yeah. I remember when I was a kid, my mom, before she found out she was allergic to fish, I remember she brought me a cup of clam chowder from there, and it was so good.
Oh, gosh. Yeah, I've never eaten from them.
Oh, so, yeah. I had dinner there a couple times in my 20s. I had their creme brulee for dessert. That was so damn good. Oh.
Oh gosh, yeah. Yeah, I'm still not a huge fish fan. Funny, I don't like regular fish.
Yeah.
As for salmon and stuff. However, I absolutely love sushi.
Me too.
Yep. John and I go at least once, probably every 2 weeks, if for sushi, because we both love it. And so we have love. The one thing that we have out here that, of course, California really don't have is we have a lot of places for sushi that do all you can eat here, and it's good. And so I love that because you can get such a variety, and it's really amazing. And plus, all the restaurants, even though they have they're a little bit different, but they're all pretty much the same, but they all have their different unique twists. So depending on what you're in the mood for, you might go to that place or a certain different one. And that's one of my favorite places of going, is having sushi. But I don't like salmon or kind of tuna really, but I love sushi.
I used to go to this place in Foster City. This is actually how I got into sushi. I was living in Foster City for a few years after high school, and there's a place there called Toki's, and they moved it over to 3rd Avenue in San Mateo. I was like, oh God, I loved the location it was in Foster City. There was all this gravel area and seagulls there. It was so secluded. It was a nice little location. I don't know why they had to move it, but that's where I first developed my love for sushi, because for years you couldn't get me to eat it when I was a kid, ever.
Yep. No, actually, I don't think there's, honestly, most of the time when you go into sushi places, you very rarely actually see kids. You see, it's mostly adults in there, or you have a few teenagers.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's no kids in there. I remember taking even my cousin, her daughter, her and I went to sushi. She stopped and got something from a cheese, I think it was a quesadilla or something from Taco Bell for her daughter to eat when we were in having sushi, because she wouldn't eat it. Oh gosh.
My God. Crazy. So yeah, what year did you move to Vegas?
So I'm actually in Reno. So
Reno, sorry.
So northern Nevada. So I've been here since 2003.
Wow.
I
So,
have been to Vegas a few times, though.
oh my God. So you've been there for 20 years.
Yes. Yeah, I have. And don't plan on retiring here. I'm hoping things eventually will work out. And we have so far, we'll see where things go. I don't want to jinx anything. So right now, my plans, I won't retire here eventually. I will be moving. But
I
that's for a while.
Yeah, I haven't been to Vegas yet, but I've been to Reno. My mom and my stepdad, who's no longer with us, they took me for my 21st birthday in '04, and we had fun. Oh, going to all you can eat buffets, and I did the slot machines, and I saw this really cool cover band play, and I got to have some action with the lead singer. Like her and I were talking between sets because I liked her singing voice and stuff. Yeah, it was fun.
Oh gosh, yeah, Reno it is great and stuff. I love we get a lot of different entertainments and stuff. We get a lot of variety of different musics and stuff like that. So being basically how they like to compare us like a smaller version of Vegas definitely is. We don't have a lot of the gambling now. You still have the casinos that are here around, and people still go to those, but actually surprisingly what is one of the main attractions lately, of course, has been at least starting to go and grow, of course, is Lake Tahoe. Everyone comes for Lake Tahoe. It's summer, and especially during the winter, except for this past winter, it was too much snow. But everyone comes for Lake Tahoe, and it's absolutely gorgeous. And a lot of things happen, and we're that's one thing about with Reno. We're within driving distance of California, Lake Tahoe. Yeah, you can drive all the way down to Vegas. John and I are planning actually going to Vegas next month for a concert for my birthday. He's buying me, taking me there for the day. So that's pretty cool.
Nice.
It'll be a day trip.
I want to visit the Moonlight Bunny Ranch brothel over in Tahoe. Eventually, I interviewed the madam a few years ago. She said she'd buy me a girl for the night. So.
Oh gosh. Yep, yeah, that's the one thing. And it's actually funny thing is I've heard stories about like the brothels up here and like and even strip clubs I've heard too.
Yeah.
I don't know if they still do it, but actually I've heard that they actually have like really good food.
Oh
so
God.
Yeah. I've heard that. And I'm like, of course I've never been, but I've heard that from a lot of guys, and I've even heard it from some girls that they've gone and just sat there and eaten food. I'm like, really? Okay, never would have thought of that.
Oh my God! I went to the Larry Flint Hustler Club for my 25th birthday. My best friend, who unfortunately had a car accident and died a few months before I had my accident, Michael Kelly, who went to Aragon. He got me. He got me a lap dance there, right? He paid for it and everything. We had a blast. They had food there. They had fried chicken, mashed potatoes, and it did not taste good. I was like, oh God, I hope this is not their recipe.
Oh my gosh. See, I've heard of that they have it, and actually, John was telling me that he grew up in Hollywood.
Yeah.
So he said that he would go to strip clubs when he was younger, and because they would have free food, and it was like chicken wings or whatever is what he said. But it was good. I'm like, okay, for free food, I wouldn't blame you on that one. You just had to pay like the door admission or something. But I've heard a few of the I think it's the Bunny Ranch out here that they had. I don't know if they still do because of the pandemic. Everything's changed.
Yeah.
But they used to have it where they'd have food and stuff, and a lot of people said that they had very good food there. So.
Yeah, I talked to Madame Suzette before the pandemic, so I don't know what's going on there now. But yeah, I can imagine it's probably shifted. Yeah. So did Deanna move out there with you?
Actually, she did after a few years. So she is actually out here. She actually lives in a smaller town but not far away. She lives out in Burnley, which is like a 20-minute drive from Reno. So she lives out here now. So she's been out here for about, I want to say 15 years or so. So she's been out since quite time, and she's doing amazing. She's still doing her art, which is always amazing. She's always been very, very talented. And so she's still doing that. And that is just, I'm just still in awe on her talent on that art.
Yeah, because oh my God, Mike, was in our class, and then he was held back, and then people thought they were twins.
Oh, yep, I know. And I'm like, no, they're not. Trust me, they're not.
Oh God, I saw him on the bus just before my accident, like maybe a week before, and he was getting off work late at night at Safeway in Millbrae, and he was just like looking, and then he sees me, and he gives me this look like, "Yo, what's up, bitch?"
Oh, well, actually, the funny thing is, Mike lives out here now too.
Oh, good, good.
Yeah, her dad and her two brothers, they all moved out here too. About, I want to say, spent probably about almost 6 to 7 years or so.
Yeah.
So, yeah, they moved out here too. So that's cool.
Yeah, they're such good people. They really are.
Yes.
So, not to go too deep, but like, how long were you married for?
So I was actually married for 18 years.
Wow.
Yes. So, and then I got divorced. It got finalized February of 2022 of last year.
Wow. Yeah, it's pretty recent.
Yeah, and I wasn't expecting to look for anything else after my divorce because, obviously a very long relationship ended and I didn't have any kids from it. Mm-hmm. So I wasn't looking for anything, and I actually happened to have where my brother's basically fiance or whatever actually introduced me and now my boyfriend John, and we've been together. We met in March and then actually started dating in April of last year, and we've been together since. Oh,
that's awesome. Yeah. So, I had one serious girlfriend 15 years ago, and God, she really hurt me, I'll tell you. And after that, I went down a rabbit hole of like hanging out with like swinger couples and going on dating sites, and I dated a dominatrix for a little while, and then this polyamorous girl that I'm still in touch with, and all this stuff. And then after my car accident, I was like, okay, I did all the dating and stuff. Now I just need to focus on me and my future and pursuing show business, and that's what I've done pretty much. I mean, I have my nights where I'm lonely, and I'm thinking, God, I'm 40, like I gotta get on this, but at the same time, it's just like I don't need the aggravation.
Yeah, no, I honestly don't blame you, and honestly, that's what I figured was going to happen with me, because when I got divorced, I needed to work on myself. I wanted to find me again, because I'm a very happy-go person. I'm an upbeat personality. I like being happy. I like being in a good mood. And being married for so long with my ex-husband, he had it where he was a negative person. Yeah. And it just ate away at me and just started changing me, and I didn't like it. And so after the divorce, it's like I felt like I was starting to become me again. Even just after like a month or 2 months away, I felt like myself again. And I'm still working on some things that was dealing with from psychological point of it. Mm-hmm. So I still have my moments where things happen to me that I'm still dealing with some trauma from there. But I'm so much in a better place. And like I said, I wasn't looking for anything. And I happened to met John. So when you stop looking and just, definitely try to work on yourself, you never know. When it happens, it's going to happen. And you're going to find somebody that's right for you. John and I have so much in common. Our music is the main thing that we have in common, but it's just the intellectual and the conversations, and it just clicked. And like I said, I was definitely not looking for anything. We've already discussed, he's been married before, I've been married before. We already discussed, we are not getting married again. We may do like the ceremony thing wise and say verbally, but we're never doing anything court wise, never doing anything legally, because we both had to pay for the divorce, and that's very expensive to do.
Oh my God.
Don't want to go through that again.
Yeah, I would just, let it linger for a while,
Oh, yeah. We are taking things slow. We are in no rush, no hurry. We are having fun, getting to know each other. We're enjoying life, and we're having a great time, and that's amazing. He is an absolutely amazing guy. I'm very, very lucky to have found him. I honestly am extremely more happier than I possibly could have ever thought I was going to be. And I am taking it day by day, and I don't want to have it where you go, oh my God, I wonder if what's going to happen here and what's going to happen here. I don't want to push. I'm not going to. I'm going to ruin things that way. So.
That is so wonderful. It blows my mind that Jason Turner is your cousin, because I remember he went out with Jessica Lord, and I had a date with Jessica that was supposed to happen right after high school. We were going to get together for dinner at this restaurant in San Mateo, and I fell asleep. And the date never happened, and she never got back to me. And she's not on social media or anything. I don't know, if she ever was truly that mad at me for it. But I didn't mean to stand her up. And I saw her brother Steven around 2007, and I asked how she was doing. He said she was living in Sacramento or something.
Oh my gosh. Yep. Yeah. I actually remember with Jason would never. It was so hard to try to have it where, you saw Jessica and Jason together. Yeah. And I'm like, he would not admit that they were dating.
Really?
And it's like, I don't know what it was. I'm like, really? Why wouldn't you just say it? Why would they never labeled it? He wouldn't label it for me. I'm like, I never heard him call his, Jessica his girlfriend. And I'm like, you guys, everyone knew, especially anybody that was in band. We all knew. But it's just, he never labeled anything. And actually, I have a funny story about Jason. Okay. He's going to kill me if he ever hears this. I'm sorry, Jason. I love you. So there was actually one time that Jason was actually supposed to give me a ride home from high school. Mm-hmm. He left school without me. He forgot about me. And so I had to walk home, I lived literally 2 blocks in between where Bayside was and Horrell. Mm-hmm. So I lived right there from San Mateo High. I walked all the way. So it was about almost 2 miles, and it was pouring rain. And so when I got home, my mom asked me what the heck I was doing, because obviously I should have been home a lot sooner. And I told her that my cousin forgot me, and oh my God, my aunt gave him was yelling at him, and I'm like, oh, my aunt, first of all, she's tall. She's figure my aunt, on my dad's side, everybody was over 6 feet. Yeah. So remember how tall Jason was. Well, his mom, my aunt, was tall as well. And I can actually hear her and picture her yelling at him. But he felt so bad. And I'm like, luckily, it was just rain, so I didn't care. It was like, it's just water. And he never forgot me ever again.
Oh my God. Funny. Yeah. How's Richie doing?
We actually don't talk.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, there was an incident with him and then his basically fiance that happened, and he basically chose her over all his friends and family. Mm-hmm. And so one thing he did that I don't respect, and once that happened, he basically allowed, I'm not going to go into full details. Yeah. He basically allowed his fiance to scream and belittle my mom on the phone.
Oh.
And as soon as that happened, I lost all respect. I disowned him. If you literally ask me, I don't have a brother. He's not family to me. So I don't want to have anything to really do with him because of that, of his actions and his choices on that one.
I'm so sorry about that, Denise. Yeah, I mean, he lived with us for a while. We loved him. I mean, he could drive us crazy at times. With things, but we loved him.
Yeah. I remember him when he got kicked out and he moved out and was for a couple of weeks or so, I think it was.
Yeah.
And then he moved back. And I was fine with him and everything. We've never been close because we have a huge age difference.
Yeah.
And he is completely different than, a type of a person than I am.
Yeah.
And so we've never been close at all. But until then, because after my dad passed away, we kind of drifted apart really more.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then a couple of years ago, in 21, I got COVID extremely bad.
Mm-hmm.
And then after that, because, I ended up getting pneumonia 1 month before, and then I got COVID a month later. So I had a double whammy on my lungs. So I had a really bad effect from it. And my mom ended up getting sick from it as well. She ended up getting COVID. And then her mental memory started getting really affected. And so kind of downhill. And he kind of just did not help her at all.
Mm-hmm.
And it just, his fiance that he got into the picture. And I was fine with her at first. But then a situation happened. And yeah, that one thing is I'm extremely protective over my mom. I will always protect her. I will look out for her. I don't care about anything else. My mom is number one. She's my absolute best friend. I've been close with her. And so I'm going to go protect her. I will do anything for her, and I will do anything for her to this day. So right now I have it where she's having memory issues. She has short-term memories, but she has good days, bad days. But I have her actually living with me and take care of her. I'm very grateful for the company I work for. I actually am able to work from home, so I'm able to take care of her. And we're actually going to be planning a trip. Me and John are going to be going to Apple Hill to do a wine wine tour. And my mom actually wants to go this year, so I'm going to try to take her and see how she does.
Fabulous. Yeah, I know exactly how it is. I mean, my mom, she's going to be 70 next year. She has her good days and her bad days. And it hit me like a ton of bricks. Like, oh my God, we're older now. It's just, I didn't think it was going to come so fast,
Yep. Yeah, my mom literally just turned 79. So, and it's just seeing the changes, and it's like you remember as like I can remember when my mom was young, even when I was younger, remember how she was and how strong she was and everything she did for me. And it's just, it is for me, it's difficult to see her changing to this. But the whole saying is, your parents, took care of you when you're growing up. And so now it's my turn to take care of her.
Right. So real quick, we got to play my secret silly game. This is a series of silly slumber party questions. No win or lose. It's just pure fun. And how the game works is I ask you the question, you answer it, and then you ask me that exact same question, and I answer it. And feel free to come on answers because they might be funny.
Okay.
Okay. Denise, are you ticklish?
Yes, I am. Tommy, DJ, are you ticklish?
Oh, yes. If you tickle me without warning, I might hit you in the groin.
Oh. I'm not that violent, thank goodness.
Yeah. Is your belly button an innie or an outie?
An innie. I don't. Yeah, Audi's the one. Yeah, mine's an innie. So I had to stop and think for a second. Okay. Is yours an innie or an Audi?
It's an innie. What color are your toenails painted?
It's actually a metallic color, so it changes. So it's like a gray color, but they have it's very colorful, almost like a rainbow, depending on the light hits.
Interesting.
Yeah. What color are your toenails painted?
Light purple.
Light purple, okay.
Yes. What would you say is your best personality trait?
Oh, that one's a good one. I would honestly have to say, God, I'm very friendly. Is going to be as a guy to say is my personality trait wise.
You are very friendly.
I'm accepting. So sometimes that's not a good thing. What would you have to say your best personality trait is?
I have empathy and I have no filter.
Oh, yes. I'm a very empathetic one, so I do agree with that one, unfortunately. There's a whole saying with cancer people that are cancers, that you're very empathetic. Oh, God, that is so true. I'm like, I can literally see a person crying, and I have no idea why. And if I'm watching them long enough, I'll start crying with them. So I got to walk away.
Yeah. And then my favorite question, is there a stinky smell that just makes you gag?
No, actually not. I don't get disgusted with anything or anything that makes me nauseous for any smell or anything that anyone does.
Interesting. I mean, you were an athlete back in the day. I'm surprised.
You figure, right? But no, my aunt was like a registered nurse.
Yeah.
And so blood and guts and stuff like that don't do anything for me. Smells, nothing. I'm like, I don't like when people have bad odor, but it doesn't make me gag. So I just don't like it.
Oh.
but yeah, nothing. I can literally see anything and it doesn't bother me. So, what about you?
Either farts or feet.
Farts or feet?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. But it's not your own, though, right? If it's somebody else, though.
Oh, it can be, but I wash my feet and take care of them. Farts, no, my own farts can be pretty bad, so I don't like those.
Oh my gosh, yep. Well, I have it where, I once again, I'm so sorry if John listens to this. I am so sorry, babe. I love you, but he has it where he got an accident years and years ago, so he has no small intestine. So things just go through him. And it's funny because I'll be at his place and he's in the bathroom or whatever, and he tries to have it where he doesn't fart if I'm in the room. He'll hold it. He'll literally wait until I leave the room. He'll fart, and funny thing is, I can hear it. And I go, really, babe? Or I can hear him. I go, oh, you make sure you turn. And he goes, really? Why are you eavesdropping on my conversation with the bathroom or whatever? I'm like, so.
Oh my God. Denise, I'm so glad we could catch up today. Thank you so much for being a great guest tonight.
Oh, you're welcome. It was so much fun. I had a lot of fun. We definitely got to do it soon. We don't have to wait another 20 years, please.
No. Next time, I get to Nevada, I'd love to have dinner with you and John.
Yes, of course. We can definitely do sushi since you love sushi. We know some great places.
Fabulous. You have yourself a great night and be safe out there.
Oh, thanks you. You too, TD. You have a great night. Thank you so much for allowing me to be on here.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you. Good night.
Good night. Well, there you have it. Denise Percy. Ain't she a sweetheart? Man, she is a lot more talkative now than she was when we were growing up. I guess, getting older does that to you sometimes. Wow. But she's always been a sweetheart, and she's always been friendly, and I'm so glad we could have this talk today. That's so unfortunate about her brother, but on one hand, I'm not surprised, but on the other hand, I love the old Richie. He was so great. Well, until next time, this is Tommy Throwback Kovac saying, there's no shame in living in the past, because the present sucks. Later, dudes.